We are going to continue on this conversation, but I think we're going to break it up in the middle now with a little bit of brevity. I don't know how many people messaged me today, Chewy. Don't know if you've seen this yet, but Newsroom has been picking up their game. Play you a little bit of audio from their podcast talking about cancelled school buses. See if you recognise anything.
Live in this, developed Western society, and
There is a cloud hanging over a number of school bus services around New Zealand, with some communities likely to lose their school bus altogether.
About 500 families in rural Hawke's Bay are facing an uncertain future because the bus service taking their kids to school is being cancelled by the Ministry of Education.
Does the government need to review its review of rural school bus routes?
I'm not crazy. This is something that people would understand as a public good. Getting rural kids to school is a public good.
This government's all about, fewer children missing school, but at the same time, making it harder for kids to get to school. How do we square that circle? That seems to be counterproductive.
The decision to cancel rural school bus routes is clearly hitting major potholes and unforgiving rough ground.
And this is the danger, isn't it? The other part of me, the charitable part of me goes, that must be absolute chaos for those families. Because they've got to...
That is my favourite part, that they had to put a beep in it. I love that so much.
Send their kids to school, right? They've also got to run their farms. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're on a dairy farm, I can't imagine that someone's got the time to chuck the kids in the ute.
Honestly, they use us for the entire setup to this.
Drive them, 2 hours to school or something like that and get back? You're screwed for milking?
Some parents are in tears, trying to figure out whether to homeschool their children.
Not finished yet, by the way. They're going to come back.
Or to try to sell their properties so they can move closer to a school so their kids can continue their education.
Kia ora, I'm Amanda Gillies, and today on The Detail, why are school bus routes being cancelled and what impact is this having on students and their families, especially those in rural areas?
And this is the thing when people talk about the urban-rural divide.
If we have these 200 kids who are all trying to get on a bus and only 50 of them can get on, who gets first dibs?
Well, we're going to make kids walk 12 k's to get to school along a country road that's got no footpath. What else can we do, really? It's just going to be crazy.
The Ministry...
There you go. And look, to be honest, I did speak to the producer of The Detail today and kind of went, so what's your policy around crediting content producers that you use in your thing? And the response was, we don't credit things that we use to kind of shape the show. And I'm like, okay, all right, I see the thing. And it's like, yeah, all right, it's good to know. Oh, and I was like, would you like me to make sure nothing gets used? I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm just interested to learn your policies. And like, it ended up being, I said, so if you kind of used commentary from News Talk ZB, like you used someone at Newsroom used a paragraph from News Talk ZB to start a story, would you credit them? And they were like, it's not really the same because we wouldn't use stuff from ZB. And I'm like, and I was like, look, I get it. But I was just like, well, our policy is if we use someone else's content, we always credit them. It has a commercial value to it, to which the response was, well, we're not commercial. All of our stuff gets funded by public money. And I'm like, yeah, I saw one lot of public money for that, The Detail, that was $800,000 for a year. So I'm like, but you're still, I didn't say this part, but when you're putting together a program that you have to be accountable to New Zealand On Air and you're using other people's content to help be accountable, then it does have a value. It may not be a commercial value, but it does have a financial value. So don't worry, I've probably burnt that bridge and they'll probably never use our stuff again, but no, it's quite funny.
I mean, it's a good point, isn't it? Right? They use their commentary because we're making good points. And
how much did they use? Like half of that first 2-minute intro was you. I got to say one line, then you.
Yeah. Look, it's just ticked off something on my personal to-do list, which is drop an F-bomb on RNZ or some other major mainstream news. Look, I get a kick out of somebody else using it, bigger media organisation using it. I won't lie. But yeah, crediting us would be good. Getting us on to make, again, excellent points all the time would be also very, very good.
And paying us. That'll be the last thing. And paying us.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I always leave that off for some reason.
Yeah, I just like I've had people on the internet. There's a couple of they're basically fucking Russian bots or troll farms or something that cut up clips and they just put them out there. They're always very, very right wing, and 2 or 3 times they've used content from us, like when we've talked to Chloe or something like that. And I actually wrote in their comments, "Hey guys, obviously we can't say don't use our stuff. It's all we do. All we do is use other people's stuff to make our points. So obviously, we're not going to say don't do it. But what we also do is we credit, right? And so go for it. Use it, but just credit. And then 3 people who are obviously followers of this weirdo went, yeah, that's a fair point. And guess what happened? It got deleted. The person then refused to do it. They'd rather not use it. So
much easier to do that, right?
Yeah. Well, so no, what I've done since that is when they've done it again, after I've had that conversation with them, I've put the copyright strike on them. Because I'm like, you can use it, you just have to credit us. That's all. That's the polite thing to do, and probably the commercially appropriate thing to do.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to have to start each of my pieces by saying myself, Chewy of BHN, 4 nights a week.
The easy thing about this though is obviously we don't have to do lots of credits when we're doing a video show because. One News, you know where it's from. But you'll notice I say it a lot, actually. I say this is what One News said tonight. And one of the reasons I say that is because this is an audio podcast as well. Yeah, no, it's pretty funny. And like, to be honest with you, the person who I spoke to, who I have a relationship from, she was in the newsroom at ZB. So I know her. And I mean, I might have burnt a bridge there. They might not use any more of our stuff, but I think it's still a fine thing to say. We wouldn't use the newsroom stuff without saying from the newsroom because they've paid for it. Right, they've paid for that content that we're now using, whether it's the reporter who's written it, or the technician who's put the audio, or whether that's cost them something. And so what we do is we say this is from the newsroom. So I don't know. Yeah, look, I like what Mark says here. I like the word respectful. Accreditation is essential and respectful. I think it's respectful.
Respect goes a long way, because we'll cruise on. Oh, that's my voice. That's very
funny,
cool.
hey?
But it does for small creators like us. It brings more ears and eyeballs to what we do.
There were lots of people who
to us that
when Today FM was going, and I was doing a Wednesday slot with Lloyd Burr, doing like the panel. Oh, what happened to my camera? I was looking down. Like the panel. Hi, back in. When I was doing the panel with Lloyd, numerous people, I don't know if any of you are still watching, but numerous people have messaged me and emailed us going, I found you because Lloyd Burr always said from Big Hairy News. They needed to laugh because like, he wouldn't say what the fuck, but what is your Hairy News? And that's how people found us, because that's what you do. You da-da-da. They also paid me, but that was a double hit. You just do that.